Did you know that on average, only 20% of business owners actually set proper goals in their business? Did you know that 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years? And did you know that in this single episode, I can share with you a technique that isn't rocket science, but if you implement properly and regularly, will help ensure that your business is a massive success? Now that I have your attention, there are far too many business owners who quit their 9-to-5 to go all in on their businesses, but without any strategic planning. They're really just flying by the seat of their pants. There's no direction, there's no guidance, there's no strategic vision or goal setting, nothing that's actually really guiding the ship. And while we all know what happens if there's no final destination that is punched into the GPS, it cannot tell you the turns to make in order to help you get where you were trying to go. Arguably, that is my most shared expression. As a business coach who's helped hundreds of business owners now scale their business and strengthen their mindset in the process, this one still shocks me. Let's dive into this today as I help y'all create a 30, 60, 90-day strategic business plan to take control over your business, the direction that it's headed, and start treating it like the empire that it is destined to be. Let's do this, savages. What's up, savages, and welcome back to another episode on the Business Savage podcast. I am your host, your business and mindset coach, and professional international speaker, Cassandra Britton. I have built multiple businesses to 6 and 7 figures, but it is not all butterflies and rainbows. So I am here to help you play bigger and unleash that wild, untamed version that lives inside of you. A healthy business, it begins with a healthy mind, and our businesses will only grow to the extent in which we grow. So I am here to help share with you the real talk about being in the 1% and what it takes to play big 360 in business and in life. And if you have a sec, please drop us a review. It greatly helps us reach a bigger audience and others who need to hear these messages find us. And of course, don't forget to hit the bell at the top corner and subscribe so that you never miss a future episode as they air. Majority of businesses are happy to hit go, but they don't actually have the destination in mind. They don't actually know where it is that they're headed. There's no weekly reflections. There's no monthly reflections. Sometimes there's not even an annual reflection. There's just no reflections at all. The only thing that they are measuring is if their Instagram is growing and going up, but there's nothing strategic about the way that they're running their business. If this is you, you're welcome. You're welcome for the friendly call out and the reminder, because this is the first step. It's always just awareness. Now let's get you back on track, right? Because it is your choice whether you change the behavior and the output or you continue to complain. Friends, you'd be shocked when I speak on stages at conferences. I run massive workshops, teach webinars. I'm getting all kinds of head nods as if people understand. I'm getting hand raises that they understand and they agree, but they are still unwilling to do the actual work. Can I be the first to say that running your own business is not easy? It doesn't just fall into your lap. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of strategic planning. It all needs to be done. And if you're not willing to do this side of your business, do not be surprised when it comes crashing down on you like a ton of bricks, because you have not built the strong enough foundation to then build the business that you're trying to build, right? It takes time to ensure that there's no cracks in the foundation, that there's no water leaks, that the roof isn't leaking, and that the plan is still on track. Think of this like the analogy of actually building a house. A house doesn't just get built without the vision and the plans in mind, following all of those plans, checking back in continuously to make sure that everything is going according to plan. All of the changes that probably need to be made along the way where you need to make adjustments. Maybe, you want to change the decor or something, you want to make some pivots. So you all know exactly what needs to be done before you can add all of the paint colors to the walls and put in your favorite decor and all of the finishing touches. Certain projects and tasks are foundational, and they must be done first before we can build on to others. There is a book, it is called Measure What Matters. A client of mine actually referred me to it. Shout out to you, Mark. And I highly recommend that if you are a business owner listening to this podcast right now, that you take the time to read it. So let's dive into all of this juiciness. Okay, firstly, if you are not driving and you have the ability, I invite you to go grab a notebook, maybe a whiteboard or a sheet of paper, something that you can join me as we work through this live workshop together. And if you are driving, or maybe you're doing your makeup, or maybe you're walking your dogs, or you're out on the treadmill, then you're going to want to put a pin in this so that you can come back to this exercise. But for now, you can just listen in, and this is all going to make much more sense the second time you come back with that notebook. So here's the first thing that I need y'all to do. I want you to draw a nice long horizontal line across this page. And then I want you to divide it into 3 different sections. So we've got the first section is going to be our 30. The second section is going to be our 60. And the third and final section, or the home stretch, is going to be the 90. Okay. So now we can use this 30, 60, 90 analogy for each and every single goal that you have in your business to complete it. But for the purpose of this exercise, I invite you to just pick one. And also a friendly reminder that a goal is not just to grow my business or get more followers on Instagram or to get more brand deals or to take better content or to use my voice more. None of these are goals that are going to actually help you because they are missing the core foundational basic component and elements of what we call SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relative, and timely. And y'all can go Google the definition of a SMART goal to get more context on that if you do not know. So for now, grow my social media following. If that is your goal, it becomes to increase my followers by 500 aligned followers by the end of 2024. Do y'all see the difference? Again, clarity, clear goals. That is what we are here to execute on, not vague goals. So once you have your clear goal, for the purpose of this demonstration, let's stick with the example of growing your social media following because I know many of you listening are interested in doing that. Filling your followers with more aligned potential buyers, or what we like to call raving fans. This is going to be something that is going to actually help you grow your business. So here's part number 2. We're going to brainstorm every single step that needs to happen in order for that goal to become true. So I ask myself this question all the time. What would need to be true? If I want to grow my social media following to 500 followers by 500 followers in the next 3 months, what needs to happen? How do I actually do that? So here's where we brainstorm. I like to call this freestyling. We take every single idea, any thought, or any consideration that could be true to help us reach that goal in that brainstorm. And we want to get it all out. For my whiteboard friends, this is where I like to just go crazy on the whiteboard. Get it all out, everything. This is going to take you a minute. It might take you 10 minutes. It might take you 15. It may take you an hour. Maybe you want to do something and then come back to it with more ideas, right? It might even take you up to a week. But I invite you to truly sit with yourselves in the space that you need to truly sit with all of these ideas and let them flow out of you. And the challenge is that to get really, really, really nitty gritty and specific, I don't want you to just write down the big vague things, but also the very nitty gritty and specific. So if you write down, create more content, there are still so many steps that need to be done within that. So you need to get more specific than that, right? We have to research content. We have to create our content pillars. We have to write the scripts. We have to record the content. We have to film the content. We have to edit the content. We have to write the captions. We have to post the content. The list obviously keeps going until every single step of that would be complete. So this is where you need to get incredibly specific on everything that's going to help you reach that goal of growing your social media following by 500 people in the next few months. Now, here's the fun part that I like to bring in, because I know y'all so well. Even though I don't physically get to see the thousands of you that listen to this show, I know you. I've learned now, pushing almost 100 episodes on this show, what y'all want, what y'all love, how y'all think, what you're struggling with, and how to help you overcome it. So let's just call out the elephant in the room, shall we? There are things on this list that you have just put down that do not need to be there. There are limiting beliefs. There is your inner bitch voice that just came out. There's imposter syndrome. There are fears. There are defense mechanisms to keep you and yourself safe. There are procrastination habits. There are lies. There are all kinds of blocks and restrictions that you have just put in your way to actually reaching your goal. Here's where I want you to have the curiosity to look at this list with an unbiased opinion and remove your ego in the process and ask yourself, is this true? Is this true? Or is it just an excuse? Is it just a fear that came up? Is it something that I'm just telling myself to procrastinate from actually reaching the goal, and you're just keeping yourself in the exact same place that you were when you set it out? Or is this just another lie that my subconscious has thrown in there because it is trying to keep me safe? And what I'm trying to do is scary. It's outside of my comfort zone. It's outside of anything that I have created in my life so far. So we're just going to pile on a whole bunch of things that don't actually need to be there. They're lies. They're lies and they're excuses. Let me give you some common examples. I can't record more content until I lose weight. I hear this all the time. I need to take another course before I can start creating more content. I need to learn more about how to create the content. I have to hire a professional videographer first because I don't know how to do that and I can't start filming a content even though you have probably an iPhone in your pocket. I don't know how to edit or how to use CapCut, so I'm probably going to have to take a course on that first. And then the final one that I hear all the time is no one wants to listen to my voice. Maybe I should just hire a brand ambassador to represent my brand and to be the face of it first. And I got to post ads and I got to find the right person for all of that. All of this is just keeping you in the exact same place that you've always been. Friends, the list goes on. I don't think that there's such thing. I don't think there's much that you could say that would shock me that I probably haven't heard before. So here's your invitation, one last time, to take a look at that list and acknowledge every single limiting belief, procrastination tactic that you have added to your list that is just going to prolong that process for you. Friends, for those of you who know me or have listened to this show for any amount of time, my philosophy is fire, aim, ready, which means we fire first and we figure it out in the process. We don't need to wait to feel ready, for that just distracts you from the fact that you already are. Everything you need is already within you. You don't need to blow more money on another course to make yourself feel ready to start posting on social media. You don't need to buy new outfits. You don't need to wait weeks for them to arrive, just then to tell yourself that they don't fit or look cute and you actually need to lose weight before you're actually going to get your face on camera in the first place. I know that I'm calling a lot of you out right now. So let's just go ahead and pause me. If you'd like, take a few minutes and let's just remove everything on that brainstorming list that is not true. And it doesn't actually help you get towards your goal. And for those of you who would like to take the fastest route on this GPS when it gives you options, this is your reminder that by removing as many things off of that list that are not actually true and serving you in reaching that goal, the faster you will get there. People ask me frequently, how do you do it? How do you do things so fast? How do you do so many different things at once? Here's my answer. Number one, fire, aim, ready. I fire before I'm ready, knowing that in the process, I will become ready and I will figure it out. And number two is I like to take the fastest route. I like to remove every single step that does not need to be there. And it's just taking up unnecessary space in my path. Let's take a collective deep breath. Because it feels like a lot sometimes when we acknowledge all of the things that are actually in the way. And I want to let you pause and I want you just to release that. Now with just our pure list, we can continue. And we can begin plotting the items on the chart, the 30, 60, 90, that actually need to get there, that will actually help us strategically get towards our goal. Are they the core foundational immediate items that need to be done at the beginning? Or maybe they're going to go in our medium section, our momentum section, which is our 60, which are like building off of something. Maybe the second story is now being built. Or does it fall under the finishing touches? The home stretch, right? The windows are going in, the roof tiles are going on, the paint's being chosen, all the appliances are being installed. That is our 90-day. That is the final finishing home stretch. Ask yourself, does something need to happen before this can happen? So as I'm taking a list of this brainstorm and taking everything off of my page and I'm applying it into my 30, 60, 90, I ask myself, does something need to be done before that? And if the answer is yes, then that goes in probably the 60 or at least in the section before it. So before I can choose my appliances and those can be installed, there's a lot of steps that need to go into building the home. And that's what helps us cultivate the 30, 60, 90. Now, without taking y'all through a very in-depth workshop that I will walk our mastermind students through in our Savage Society, you're going to continue going through this list and plotting the items in either the 30 section, the 60 section, or in the 90 section until eventually everything is off of your brainstorm, everything's off of the piece of paper, and it has a designated spot in your strategic plan. Before you can edit and post the video, you need to do the research in your niche to see what's trending. You need to write the content ideas. You obviously need to sit down and film them. Editing is going to be at the end and then posting. So that helps give you a little bit of clarity in the process. By the way, for any of you following my social media journey, 500 new followers in 3 months is absolutely doable. For any of you that just threw that in as a limiting belief. Some of you have been trying to grow your socials for months or years with very little success, but do you use that as a blanket of lies telling you that it's not possible? Because I gained 200 plus followers a day now, steadily, and it only took consistency and it took aligned content for me to get there. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Now, friends, once you're finished with your brainstorm and there's nothing left on it, move around the tasks if they should be to ensure that there's no steps before something and that it's in the appropriate block. Example, I don't want to see work on business for a 4-hour work block because there's no specific task in that to be done. You'll have absolutely no idea where to even put that. The next step is to share this, whether it's with your team or you want to post it up somewhere for yourself to see, and you want to start putting all of these actionable items into your planner so that you're scheduling them. And we're only focusing on the first 30 to start, because when we look at a 30, 60, 90, it can be incredibly overwhelming. It can think, well, I'm here. How am I possibly going to get to that end goal? But we have to keep in mind that that's 90 days away. And that all you need to focus on right now is that first 30. You will be shocked at how much less overwhelmed you will feel when you were able to view this 30, 60, 90 that is in front of you, because you can physically see what steps you need to take and how you're going to get to that big, massive goal that's happening in 3 months from now, right? We can see it all laid out in front of us. A contractor or a landscaper, they don't get overwhelmed when they start a project. They know that one brick at a time, one flower at a time, one day at a time, they will have their goal. And as long as they stick to that 30-60 plan, and each day they hit the goal for that day, each week they hit the goal for the week, it's all getting checked off. Each month they're hitting the monthly goal, it's getting checked off. Before they know it, the house is built. And the moving trucks are all pulling in. So friends, you're not going from 0 to 100 here. Some goals are going to be larger than others, and maybe it requires a lot more than 90 days, but the framework is the same for you, and it's the same for any goal. Maybe it's not 90 days, maybe it's less, maybe it's more, but replicate this exact same framework that I have given you, because the biggest problem is we don't know where we're going, we don't get super clear on where we're going, and we don't break that down into every single actionable step to help us get there. Maybe you're doing a yearly goal planning session, maybe you're breaking this down into 12 months, maybe it's just a monthly goal and you're breaking that down into 4 weeks, maybe it's your weekly plan and you're breaking that down into 7 days. The framework is the exact same. So friends, few closing notes for you here. If you enjoy this type of conversation and you're realizing that you need this level of support and planning and learning, we are opening up our mastermind, our Savage Society Mastermind, for 3 new members only. And we're very selective over the container as it has been really growing and blossoming and forming into who we need to be in that container for it to deliver the level of excellence that we need it to deliver. But if you are ready to grow your business and mindset and receive trainings like this, but much, much, much more in depth, I invite you to apply. And if you are a fit, we will reach out with the next steps. You can apply at www.thebusinesssavage.com under the Savage Society tab. I think it's somewhere at the top, or the direct link I'll have my team put in the show notes here for you. And of course, there's always a link in our bio on Instagram as well. And secondly, please do the foundational work. Please do the visionary work. Please don't just connect to some meditation dream and hope and pray to God that it's going to bring it to you, but you actually need to make the plan. I use this analogy a lot, especially at our retreats, but a river, it is fluid and it is flowing and it's ever changing and it's strong and it's powerful in its purpose. But she also has that strong support of the masculine structure of the riverbeds in order for her to be supported in her decision. And that is what you are doing right now, is you're creating that masculine structure and those masculine riverbeds to allow you to flow towards the direction of what you're trying to achieve. The masculine and feminine energies will serve you vastly in business. These particular energies of structure and strategy and direction will give your business the guidance and support that it needs for that feminine creativity to come out and for her to flow and feel safe enough to emerge, for your creativity to emerge. Trust me. Make the time to plan. Make the time to reflect. Make the time to create a 30, 60, 90, or your variation of this framework for every single goal that you're trying to achieve in your business. And watch what will happen in your business. Well, Savages, that is all that I have for you for today's episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, here's how you can help support us. Grab the link and share it with somebody that you know and you love and you know that needs to hear this message. Or better yet, toss it up on your social medias and give us a tag. I absolutely love to see who's tuning in and build a connection with you. Remember, a business without strategy and structure is like a river without her masculine walls. And without it, it would just be a puddle of water with no support and no direction at all. Don't let your business become a puddle. Remember that a savage will get knocked down, but they will always get back up. Until next time, keep on fighting. Peace, guys.